Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Wrestling Art with Chris Things.
Ray! Do the hammerlock! I do the hammerlock! Ray! Do the hammerlock, you turkey necks! Yeah, do the hammerlock! I do the hammerlock!
Hi there, pals. Welcome to Wrestling Art with Chris Things. I am Chris Bryan, your host, your art guy, your guide into this world of wrestling art. And today we've got a very special Wrestling Art Curator episode of the show. Those being the ones where I get to put on my interviewer hat and have a chat to other wrestling artists from all over the world. I'm very excited about this one because I'm talking to Erik Jam, amazing lucha libre artist from Mexico, who I met as part of an art exhibition that he was wonderful enough to have me on as part of that show. And yeah, we connected, and I've become like a bit of a fan of Erik's work. That's just to say the least. I love his stuff. So stoked to get to chop it up, talk about the world of Mexican wrestling, about art, about all the things. So I'll be having Erik on in a little bit, but before then we have the what's going on in the world of Chris Things part of the show here. And man, we have had some eventful times going on. The biggest of which has been our latest wrestling club evening. Yes, just last night we had Wrestling Club with Chris Things Part 3, the first ever event at the Scratch Bar. I adore the Scratch. It's my local favourite dive bar, craft beer bar for so long. Just a wonderful place. It's both great in terms of like beer culture, but also in terms of local art. They for so long I think have just been a beacon for local Brisbane artists, of putting rad work on their walls, of having all sorts of different artists featured, different amazing group shows, and they've honestly been a key part of my development as an artist, and taking steps into doing group shows, into entering into a bar runner competition many years back that I was grateful that I actually won. And that gave me a real boost in terms of thinking, man, okay, maybe there's something to be done here. So yeah, if it wasn't for the Scratch, I don't think I'd be doing this right now. I don't think I'd be doing this or attempting to do this art stuff full time. So I'm so grateful for all of the things I've got to do with them over the years, and it just feels so fitting that Wrestling Club now gets to be there. But it was a wonderful night. I normally in the past have posted the intro speech and some bits of audio from the evening on this show. I haven't actually got a chance to go through that audio from the intro speech yet. I might post that later on one of my return future episodes. But for now, I just wanted to let everyone know it was such a lovely night. I want to thank everyone who came along. We got to watch a bunch of weird and eclectic wrestling, and yeah, it really felt like we're onto something here. It felt like there was a bunch of new faces in addition to my wonderful regulars, and it feels like this thing's growing. It's like it's this club where I just play a bunch of wrestling that I like, and hopefully get to spread that passion to others. And yeah, it's a bunch of fun, and I'm very appreciative that I get to do it. So that was absolutely a delight. We played quite a bit of eclectic stuff. I mean, that's the goal. We ranged from, like, I started out with a wonderful Joshi All Japan women's match between Bull Nakano and Minami Toyota. We went from that to a Ultimate Warrior versus Sergeant Slaughter match from SWS at the Tokyo Dome. Then that was shockingly good. I honestly think this was the best Ultimate Warrior match I've ever seen. He's throwing tables, throwing chairs all over the place, just running amok in the crowd. You guys have got to see this. We then went on to Argentinian wrestling and the amazing world of Martin Cardignan's Titanes en el Ring, with one of the Martin Cardignan versus La Momia matches. That, man, if you're not onto this, you gotta go down that rabbit hole, man. It's so good. A special shout out to my dear pal Richard from the Video Plant. Everyone, make sure you're following Video Plant. He actually got me the most wonderful surprise a little while back. I opened up my mail and I received, in addition to him sending me a beautiful Video Plant t-shirt of the logo that I did. So happy to be able to wear that. My partner Kaylin, it's like a favorite shirt. But he also included a record of all of the entrance themes and such from Titanes en el Ring, because I was telling him about it a while ago. What just a wonderfully thoughtful, amazing gift. I was like, where did you even find this, dude? But yeah, I listened to that and it just made me so happy. So that was probably a part of the inspiration for me, including the Titanes in a Ring in the wrestling club thingies there. We then ventured. What did we have? We had a Terry Funk versus Paul Roma match from his mid-80s WWF run, which I just thought was one of the best sort of like enhancement matches that you ever did see. We had Bam Bam Bigelow versus Spike Dudley in that tremendous ECW match where Spike goes crowd surfing after Bam Bam throws him into the crowd. We had what else, man? What else? It's escaping me now. This is not great podcasting. Hang on. Here we go. Yeah, so we had a wonderful WCW, that wonderful tag team match between Cactus Jack and Max Payne against the Nasty Boys. That just features some of the most crazy escalation of violence towards the end that I've ever seen. And one of the nutsest bumps I've ever seen in the history of wrestling by Cactus. Some great promos all the way through, all that kind of stuff too, and then finishing on a high with the Masato Tanaka versus Gladiator Mike. Awesome match from FMW, the big Kawasaki Stadium match of 1997. So the following on from the last one. But man, I thought it was a good combo of things. I hope it was good. But yeah, I think everyone got to... Oh, and don't miss this. We had a French catch match from 1968 between Le Petit Prince and Michel Saulnier. And that was just a delightful, crazy sprint of some of the most impressive, fast-paced shit you ever would see from the 60s. Wild. But yeah, if you would like the links to these things, I'll encourage you, sign up to my newsletter. You can go to christhings.com.au, jump on the contact page, and then I send out a newsletter fortnightly, sometimes weekly. I try to, whenever we have these wrestling club events, I'll send the links out so you guys can watch it yourself. If you listen to this at a later date, after I've already sent it out, this Friday is when I'm sending it out, you can always just swing me a message at any time and I'll shoot you that playlist whenever you want. All right, all right. Well, I think that rounds us out. I think that's the main thing. I feel like mentioned last time we're going to have this bit of a little pause of shows when I go overseas on this trip to Vietnam. But I'm going to be back, and I'm going to keep on doing the match of the week whilst I'm away. And that is a little special thing here too. This week's edition of the match of the week is going to be a full year, the 52nd match of the week illustration, part of this illustration series that I've been doing every week. So I'm going to keep on doing it after that. But yeah, getting to a full year I think is a special thing. And I want to do something special for that. So I'm going to give you guys a little scoop here. I'll be doing the announcement in the next little bit, but I am going to release the first full year of Chris Thing's Match of the Week as a little bit of a coffee table picture book. With my write-ups that go along with it, the explanation of why I love these matches so much, why I picked it as my match of the week, and of course the art. So yeah, that's going to be a special little thing. Keep an eye out. I'll have the details of the official announcement, release date, and where you can even do pre-orders of said book. But yeah, I'm very excited to do that, and I'm actually doing the Australia Supernova coming up in November. It's kind of like our version of Comic-Con, I guess. And I'm looking to officially kind of like launch the book in person at that event. So there's a little scoop for you. I hope you guys enjoy, and yeah, I'm having fun doing this thing. But I think that's about enough of me talking about myself. Let's bloody well get talking to Erik Jam, and everyone make sure you check out the Instagram feed before I chat of Erik.jam, Erik with a K. All right. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I am very excited today to be the return of a Wrestling Art Curator edition of the show, where I talk to other very talented wrestling artists. And today is an extra special one because this is my first ever Lucha Libre artist from Mexico. I'm so excited to have Erik Jam on the line, whose art I have loved for a long time. I describe it as striking, bright, beautiful, everything that I love about Lucha Libre. But very excited to talk to Erik. Welcome to the show, my friend.
Hey, I'm so happy to be here, man. I'm so excited. I'm super nervous because I really don't speak very well English. So I try my best, but thank you.
This is okay. Maybe this is same for us both, because I speak very, very bad no Spanish, so it's my fault too.
We're the same, man.
For me, Lucha Libre is very, very special to me, and making art of Lucha Libre is one of my favorite things. I think the masks, the characters, the outfits, the drama. There's something so magical about Mexican Lucha Libre. So for me, it's very cool to talk to someone on the other side of the world who also specialize in Lucha Libre art. So very, very cool.
Yeah, and actually, to me, it was super weird to know that somebody in Australia, like the other sides of the planet, he knows about lucha libre because here in Mexico, it's a tradition. I mean, I can't say all the people likes lucha libre, but it's part of our identity. If you're Mexican, maybe you like it or you don't like it, but you know what lucha libre is. So with somebody, when I discovered your Instagram, man, I was like, I mean, I thought this is super weird, man. I mean, how somebody from Australia likes lucha libre and especially likes art. So, something it's something very weird to me, man. But yeah, I got a couple years, maybe I got my whole life watching lucha libre and a couple years making lucha libre art.
Hmm. I love it. I love it. I think for me it's very cool to be talking to someone like you, because I see, I guess, the world of lucha libre different to you. As you mentioned, for you, lucha libre is tradition. It's everywhere in Mexico, a massive cultural phenomenon. In Australia, it's maybe a niche kind of interest that maybe weird people like me, like wrestling nerds,
Okay,
like.
yeah.
So I guess different perspectives could make a interesting chat. But my first question for you is how did you start to focus on lucha libre as your main focus of your art?
Uh, I got this degree, like university, college.
Mm-hmm.
So when I was studying art, whatever that means, everybody it was working with some other themes, like I don't know, something weird. But the art is about to find what you like and how you're gonna say it through the paint. So when my teacher asked me about what you gonna do, it's all about okay, what I like it. So lucha libre. So nobody in the college was working with lucha libre. So I say, yeah, that's gonna be my thing. I'm gonna do lucha libre art, and I never stop it, dude. My very first encounter with lucha libre and art or design, it was like 20 years ago with two Mexican wrestlers, Averno and Mephisto.
Oh, I love them.
Oh, awesome, man.
Two of my favorites.
Oh, great, man. They was working with Satanico,
Mm.
and suddenly they break up the stable. So they needed new identities. So Consejo Mundial de Lucha Libre,
Mm-hmm.
they made a contest to create the mask. So I sent my designs and I won, man.
Wow,
Yeah, that was awesome, man. So
that's so cool.
yeah, well, I remember when they called me from the Consejo Mundial de Lucha Libre office called me,
Mm.
they told me, oh, guess what, man, you won, so you have to come here and sign the paper, and you're gonna meet the Abernan Mephisto, and you're gonna make some TV commercial, and your name is gonna be on the TV show. So I was so excited, man. I remember that day, and it was awesome, man. I think that was my very first professional encounter with lucha libre design or art, and it's awesome. I never stop it, man.
Oh, incredible! That is so fucking cool, man.
Yeah, it's something awesome.
Yeah, I love those guys. Averno, Mephisto, Efesto.
Hmm.
They're such cool rudos for me. Like just the best rudos. And Averno as a opponent for Mystico.
Uh-huh.
Um, I was very sad when Averno left Consejo Mundial de Lucha Libre and went to AAA.
Yeah.
When he came back, I was very happy.
Yeah, they I mean, I create the mask, but before that, I used to think these guys, They awesome, man.
Hmm.
And they are and they was and they gonna be, you know, is they already are part of Consejo Mundial de Lucha Libre and New Japan Pro Wrestling
Hmm.
and some matches in United States. So they awesome, man.
So cool. So can I ask you, Rudo's your favorite?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure about that because when I was a kid, obviously I was a technical baby face.
Hmm.
But then I remember to watch Fishman and Kanek
Oh,
and
great.
and of course Dr. Wagner Jr. He's my favorite wrestler, and and it's amazing. I mean, I think people like the Hills or Rudos, they they got the job to to carry the match to because they have to make look great to the technical, the baby face, and they have to move the people in the arena.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Rudos forever.
Same. That's so funny. Those luchadors that you mentioned, all some of my favorites too. I think Dr. Wagner Jr. Was the first luchador to where I thought, man, Lucha Libre is the coolest thing ever, you know? Like the music,
Yeah.
the character, his talking. Like I wouldn't even know what he would be saying, but he, you know, in that low voice and the bien, like oh,
Ah,
so
yeah,
good.
that's awesome. It's like, well, in my house and with my people, you have to respect me.
And now his son is one of my favorite wrestlers, El Hijo del Dr. Wagner Jr., doing some great stuff in Pro Wrestling Noah in Japan.
Yeah, I think he's follow his father's steps. You
Mm-hmm.
know, like Dr. Wagner Jr. It's one of the top superstars here in Mexico, but he has a great career in Japan,
Mm-hmm.
and people know him in United States, in or maybe not the whole world. I don't think he's like Mil Mascaras or Rey Mysterio, but he is one of the best.
Oh, for sure. I had my wrestling club nights where I have people come to a bar and we drink beer and I play different wrestling matches for them. And for the first ever one that I did, one of my favorite matches that I played was Dr. Wagner Jr. versus Blue Demon from Triple Mania. The big crazy Puestas hair versus mask match.
Uh-huh.
Fucking incredible match, crazy with the hammer and oh, so much violence.
Yeah, it was awesome, and it's amazing. You're talking about Lucha Libre Club, man. That's amazing. I love it.
The best part, man, was so you know Australians come and to watch wrestling, and they might not have heard of Dr. Wagner Jr., for example, but they
Mhm.
watch this and they say, "Man, this is fucking awesome! Like I don't know what this is, but this is fucking awesome." So that I think is the best part of being able to share the cool thing that is lucha libre.
Yeah, man. Thank you for sharing and the lucha libre to in the other side of the planet. That's crazy, man.
I do what I can, thank you. So, your process is something I'm interested in. So,
Okay.
your style of art is very striking. As I mentioned, it's very like bold and colorful and eye catching. I think, and it is just I think in the best way, it makes my eyes happy to look at. It's very fun style. um,
Thank you, man.
so I'm interested in. So maybe can you tell us a little bit about your process, or if you have any thoughts on how you found this style, like your artistic voice.
Okay. I hope to find all the words. Here in Mexico, when you're walking on the streets, there's some kind of design, something like that. It's people, when you have a business place, people hire somebody to paint that business place. You know, like
Mm.
you have a restaurant or a barber place, or I don't know, any kind of business. People hires some guy to paint, like with the name of the business place and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, like hand painted signage.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. That's the word. And people here has the idea that when you pay, you has to get all the details, all the colors, no blank spaces,
Mm.
like saturation and colors and letters and some drawings. And it's weird because in graphic design, the first thing you learn is to don't be afraid of white spaces.
Mm.
Like, I mean, you don't need to saturate all the space. But here in Mexico, we got this thing like the Mexican design. So that's what I like. Like I don't like to have the white space. I like to create and use all the colors to have. So that's my style, man. So that's what I try to do when I created something. Like, damn it, I'm not gonna leave a blank space. I'm gonna use all the canvas. So that's what I like. And it's and I got all this inspiration um from my youth when I was a teen. Here in Mexico, we got all the comics from Marvel Comics in the 90s. So
Mm.
these guys, it was action and saturate colors and all the muscles, and I like it. So I combine all these about comic styles from the 90s and the Mexican design, and that's what I like to think, or yeah, that's what I like when I create my art.
I love it, man. It's so cool. Like it leaps off the page. I feel, and I love what you say about like not leaving any empty space. I think
Yeah.
this is how I approach my life, or at least my home. I don't know if you've heard the term maximalist style. So some people have
Yeah,
minimalist. For me, it's like as much stuff as possible. So it's cool to think that you think of your art in the same way.
yeah, and it's something like lucha libre too from the 90s. Before 90s, everything was, I mean, you can see the luchadores attire. It's just underwear and the mask and just one color.
Mm.
But suddenly in the 90s, it was all about colors and the horns and all that. I mean, how do you say, it's like psychosis mask.
Oh yeah, first one I was thinking of when you were saying this was psychosis.
Yeah, that was something so awesome when I saw all these guys. It was like, yeah, man, that's what I like. And lucha libre to me is that it's even because no matter here in Mexico, lucha libre it's part of the culture.
Hmm.
Many people think lucha libre it's not cool, like the opposite to fancy. I don't know what's the word. But it's something like in art, call it kitsch.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's something like bad taste.
Lowbrow maybe.
Yeah, yeah. So and it's like, oh, that's too kitsch, man.
Mm.
But when you see the pictures from the arenas, when you see the pictures from luchadores houses, it's all about kitsch, man,
Mm.
and it's all about this beauty. Like, you don't need to leave a blank space in your mask or your underwear, even your house. you need to put all your trophies and all your pictures and all your masks, and it's craziness in your house and in your life. That's lucha libre, and that's what I like it, and that's what I like to take and put it in my art.
I love that. When you say about the house and the wrestler's house, I think of the photo book, Lord Grobet,
Yeah, man.
with the great pictures of Solar, who is
Yeah.
another of my all-time favorite luchadors. And it's a beautiful house with all these trophies, and so cool.
Yeah, there's two pictures from Lourdes Grubet
Hmm.
that I love it. One it's Fray Tormenta, like like the original Nacho Libre,
Hmm.
and he is in the front of the church, and behind the church is all this Gothic art, like Mexican Gothic art, and everything is gold, and everything is like fancy in some weird way. And this guy is like talking about God, but he's wearing a mask. It's super crazy. I mean, it's like in what other place in the planet you can see that? And the other one, it's one from Tinieblas. Tinieblas is it's it's an icon because
Mm.
he used to be a wrestler, maybe not the best wrestler, but you used to watch him in TV and magazines and comics, and his house it's like if you're watching a spaceship, man. It's so crazy.
Such a cool mask too.
Yeah, it's weird because it's so simple, but it's so beautiful and so cool.
Yeah, I think for me, photography of lucha libre is one of my favorite ways to connect, I guess, and it's
Okay.
very inspirational for me as an artist. I'll see
Mm-hmm.
a great photograph. Especially like retro historical kind of photographs,
Mm-hmm.
like UWA, or old, Reno, Mexico, or
Mm-hmm.
wherever. And I just see these visuals, especially the big, apuestas or bloody matches with like the torn
Yeah.
masks and like blood and all this. And I'm like, fuck, man, I just want to create art when I see this. So I'm always collecting photographs for references for future artworks and things like this. Do you have a similar process like that where you have specific visuals that are influential for you to make art from, or do you all kind of it
Yeah.
comes from everywhere?
No, sometimes I'm inspired in some and on some photos, and I combine it with some other artist styles that I
Hmm.
like it. Like here in Mexico, there's some Mexican designer called Smith One. He's one of my favorite, and or Saner. He's amazing. So I like to combine these pictures with these styles and my own style and all my craziness. That's what I like to do. Sometimes I like to create from in with pencil and something from my mind.
Hmm.
And sometimes I use a photo as a reference, especially when I have to do something very fast for luchador merch.
Hmm.
Sometimes he send me the picture and I use it as a background, and I start to working on the picture. And sometimes that's easy and fastest. Sometimes they want the images for the merch as fast as you can.
Mm.
So sometimes that's what I like to do.
Yeah, cool. I think of your works, some of the ones that I really like. Ones that caught me were some of these ones of Tiger Mask 4 or Destroyer,
Okay.
where you have the luchador, but then you have this cool visual motif of the guy's kind of like face coming apart, and you can see like through his face to the bones and the organs and eyeballs and things. I think that is really cool and really original.
Thank you, man.
I haven't seen that anywhere else in wrestling art. But I think that's a really cool example of you combining these things in interesting ways.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, I try every time I do something, I try to think what else. Like right now, you already done. Maybe you can say, okay, I'm already done, but what else you need to do something different?
Hmm.
Because I don't know. I'm pretty sure in in every country it's the same, but I feel like here in Mexico, man, there's a lot of an artist, so it's sometimes to me it's impossible to think it's every word it's unique or different. So I got to do, and I mean I have to try everything to make my work looks different. I don't know, maybe I can do it sometimes, and sometimes I go to bed thinking, oh man, you do the same, but I don't know, man. I try to do my best, and I try to make everything different. I don't know if that is possible, but I try.
I love that. I think that is so great because I think of my work the same. I think we constantly have to change and evolve and experiment and try different things as artists to keep having fun, you know, for ourselves,
Yeah.
for
Mm-hmm.
our own I think enjoyment of making art. We have to try new things and be different. I think we see sometimes certain artists like they find a style and it's like, okay, this is my style, people like this, I'm good. But for me, I think I constantly need to have something different to keep myself interested.
Yeah, and let me tell you, you got a beautiful art, man. I remember the first time that I saw you were on Instagram. It was like, oh, this is a very cool job. And then I watched you're from Australia, and I thought, damn, this is crazy, but your art is amazing, man.
Thank you so much, man. Uh, I sometimes can be weird receiving compliments for my art. You know, I feel like I don't know what to say, but I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah. And I want to ask you about, I know you draw a lot FMW wrestlers,
Mm.
and Japan it's not too very far from Australia. You used to watch it on TV or now in DVDs and internet?
I think mostly DVDs and internet. As a teenager, I discovered Japanese wrestling. Maybe similar time to when I found about Mexican wrestling, lucha libre, and I fell in love with it. And I think at that time, you had to order DVDs from overseas,
Okay.
bootleg kind of stuff. Yeah, download whatever I could off the internet, all that kind of thing. But being in Australia, the one good thing is we're not too far from Japan. So I've been lucky enough to travel to Japan quite a few times. But yeah, man,
Oh,
I
great.
I love that like classic retro FMW deathmatch kind of stuff and Onita
It's
and Terry
beautiful, man.
Funk. It's I think very similar, or maybe a little bit similar to what I like about Lucha Libre, uh,
Hmm.
because it's a very colorful, visually exciting medium of professional wrestling. So in the same way in Lucha Libre, I fucking love the masks and yeah, like I said, the blood and all of this like visual drama. I think deathmatch wrestling in Japan can be the same. You have very exciting visuals of blood and glass and barbed wire and explosions and all this crazy stuff, to where normal people who don't know anything about this are like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I know. I know. Here in Mexico, we got a promotion called Zona 23. I never been there, but it's the matches are in how do you say this place when you don't need a car anymore or a trailer or
Oh yeah, like a junkyard.
yeah, a junkyard,
Mm.
and they got a ring in the middle of the junkyard, but everything is. I mean, I saw the videos,
Mm.
and it's madness, man. They making all these lucha libre moves on the cars and through the glasses, and it's so crazy, man. I want to go, but I it's in my plans in the future.
Oh, same. I would when I come to Mexico, I would love to see that if the time worked out. I've seen some of these matches myself in the junkyard, with is it like Wotan and Black Terry
Oh
and
yeah.
these kind of guys. Fantastic, and yeah, it's just so crazy. Like taking power bomb on top of a car through a car
Yeah.
windscreen, nuts.
Yeah, yeah, it's very crazy, man. And I mean, it's very crazy, and I think in lucha libre, it's you can be excited about watching two guys making all these holds and the grappling and all that kind of stuff, and I like it. But suddenly, it's you can see blood, and it's what the hell, man? What is happening right now? It's
Yeah.
I love lucha libre because of that.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think the variety is so cool because yeah, you can have this extrema kind of stuff, or like I absolutely love like classic Yave style wrestling,
Hmm.
like Negro Navarro or
Yeah.
Solar or Blue Panther. Even like Satanico, so good, but then yeah, the other kind of more rough, like blood and big apuestas kind of matches, and
Hmm. Hmm.
Villanos and Los Brazos and all that kind of stuff. I think the best part about Lucha Libre is there's just all sorts of wrestling.
Yeah, man, it's beautiful. Lucha Libre, it's beautiful.
Yeah, so I mean that's why it's fun to make art of it, I guess.
Yeah, I'm very odd. It's like if you think a little bit about that, it's like having like weird guys. It's like you say, if somebody who never watched Lucha Libre uh go to these places and watch a couple guys like dress it or in disguise like a panther or something called a Berno or Mephisto and the colors, you 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 can think this is very crazy and very odd, but that's lucha libre.
Yeah, I mean, even down to when I come to Mexico next year, I really want to go to Arena Mexico for the first time. Big
Awesome.
Friday night show will be like
Yeah.
a bucket list item of my life to get to like walk into La Catedral de la Lucha Libre. And I think that'd be so special. But one of the cool things I always see, you have a lot of these other gringos that are coming here visiting Mexico City on holiday, and they go on their bus and they go to see Lucha Libre at Arena Mexico, and they don't even know what wrestling is. They're just there as a
Yeah.
tourist, and they're drinking like the fucking cervezas and margaritas, and a lot of the time just getting so drunk, but they're just like it's a wild party, and every friend that I've had that has visited Mexico City, and a lot of them, they don't know anything about wrestling, and they go to Arena Mexico and they tell me it was like one of the coolest things they've ever done in their life.
Yeah, and it's something magical. And what I like about the lucha libre, what's the word? I mean, the ambient. It's for everybody, and you can go with your little kids
Mm.
and or just your friends or in family with grandma and grandpa, and you're gonna have a really good time. Even if you like rudos and the people besides you likes technicals of some other guys, you're never gonna have a problem with the people in there. It's it's one of the things that I like about lucha libre because sometimes in soccer or football or any other sports, people it's kind of violent, but it's crazy because when you are in watching lucha libre, the guys in the middle of the ring they fighting and they having all these punches and all the violence, but people around like it's they never gonna fight. I mean sometimes for you can find a some crazy guy, but you can take all your family and you're gonna have a really good time.
Yeah, and it's so weird because, people could be so aggressive about like soccer and they're fighting in the crowd, but wrestling, we're basically celebrating violence and watching watching
Yeah.
violence, and yet as fans we can be chill and nice, and like one of these things is a lot more aggressive than the other. It's quite funny.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy, but that's the beauty of lucha libre.
Yes, I agree. I agree. I So back to the art. Um, so from looking at your Instagram, you seem to have been involved in many different lucha libre art exhibitions over the
Hmm.
years. And I mean, I got to know you, and I'm very very grateful for you putting on the Desde la Tercera Cuerda exhibition at El Rule Comunidad,
Hmm.
and I thank you so much for having my art as part of that exhibition. I'm so grateful.
Man, we're we're happy to having you. Like, um, the first time that I met Luis, it
Hmm.
was like a couple years ago, and he invited me to his
Luis Hernández.
Luis Hernández. Yeah, he invited me to his podcast, and we started to talk about lucha libre and art because after college, I was making my degree. How do you say? No, like a mastership.
Hmm.
That makes sense. Yeah, mastership and editorial production. So I proposed a book about lucha libre. And from that book, I took some artists to make my very first art expo with some many great artists, man, like Lourdes Grobet and Dr. Lacra, Dr. Alderete, some other artists. So so Luis called me and we talked about that. So and a couple months later, we went to another Lucha Libre Expo about Blue Demon in Ciudad de Mexico, Mexico City.
Mm.
And we start to talk about art and all our plans. And we decide to make a Lucha Libre exposition about woman photographies, woman photographer, how do you say? I mean, women who take pictures
Hmm.
of Lucha Libre. And that was our very first exposition together. And it wasn't like the most important expo, but we did it. And then we made another expo, and that was huge. How do you say? Like that was very good.
Hmm.
And then the people from that place, El Rule Comunidad in Ciudad de Mexico, they told us, guys, this was a great exposition. We want one more the next year.
Hmm.
So you got a bigger space and you got security, so you can ask artists for original art, and you got the security, and so do it. So we start to looking for some other artists. That's when I told Luis about your work, and he was like, "Dude, this is awesome. Yeah, tell him to bring his art." And I told him, "This guy is living in Australia." And he asked me, "Is he Mexican?" No, I mean he's a guy from Australia, like talking about lucha libre, and he was so happy about that. So I I called you. Well, I text you, and
Hmm.
man, you say yes, and we were so happy. So that that was a very special expo because we got people from Australia, France, Germany, Argentina, of course Mexico, and Japan.
Amazing.
And man, that was yeah, that was crazy, man. It was awesome, and we we're very happy about that exposition. That and you know when we start to talk about all this, Luis and I, we never thought about sharing time, or I mean sharing this love for lucha libre with people from other countries, and it's amazing, and we we're happy to having you, man.
Oh, it was my honor. But I think you guys did such a great job of, like you're saying, curating this show to bring together and celebrate, I guess, everyone's love for lucha libre and everyone's different artistic style. I know from all of the pictures that I saw of the exhibition, there seems so much amazing variety to the show, and
Hmm.
I think that was a fantastic job that you guys did of curating all sorts of different art. And for someone like myself, with this podcast that's about something as niche as wrestling art, um, it's just so cool for me to see that other people out there are doing such cool stuff like that to celebrate wrestling and lucha libre specifically, to in such a great way. And I think I don't know. It is still surprising for me that like such cool things happen, but I'm just so grateful.
Yeah.
So, I mean, thank you guys. Outside of my personal involvement, which I was very grateful for, just you guys doing that in general, I think is such a great thing.
Thank you for accepting, man. Yeah, and that's what I like about these art shows, like meeting new people. And we got some stories about some artists. They meeting each other, and they working together some projects. That's what we like about all these art shows. It's amazing, like creating friendship and some ties of work. That's what we like, and having friends in some other countries. That's amazing, man.
So cool. I would love if there's shows in the future. I definitely have to be there in person for one of them, I think.
Yeah, man. Let me know when you come to Mexico. I'm not living in the city. I'm living in some other state. So, but it's kind of close. So maybe we can. I mean, I just want a picture with you, man. Like, like with Australian guy who likes lucha libre. That's crazy, man. And buy you a beer and say goodbye. I'm not gonna ruin your vacation, man. But I want to meet you and take a picture and beer.
Dude, I would love that. Yeah, we definitely have some beers. I think that would be fantastic. I think as we get to near the end of the interview, I had a few questions that I was very
Okay.
interested that I have to ask you before we finish. One of those. I was talking about some of the really cool different masks of lucha libre, and I think
Okay.
from people who like art, like us, looking at these beautiful masks is one of the coolest things. And I mean, for yourself, getting to like design one, fuck, so cool. But can I ask you, what if you had to say your which are the coolest masks in lucha libre that are some of your favorites over the years?
Okay, that's a very good question. Yeah, actually, Tinieblas is one of my favorites. And it's weird because we're talking about all this craziness in my art and my reference, but I like the simplicity in Tinieblas mask, like Shuel Guerrero.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love that mask. Um, of course, Dr. Wagner Jr., Fishman.
Oh, so good.
Yeah, and the Mil Mascaras shark.
Yes, the teeth.
That's
Yeah, so
what.
cool.
Yeah, yeah. That's what I love, dude. That's my top five.
They are some excellent answers.
And of course, I have to say a Vernon Mephisto, right?
Oh, of course, of course. Oh man, so good. And then from that of appreciating the masks, this may end up being the same answer. But for you and making art and drawing different luchadors, do you have some that you find are the most fun for you to make art of? Some favorites?
Um, I have to say, the Destroyer mask. This guy, I like this guy.
Oh, so cool. I love your destroyer stuff, man.
Thank you, man. Thank you. I love the mask because if you see the mask, is a mess. Like really, that's your mask. But in the same way, it's a beautiful mask, man. That's what I like, and I love to draw with. And sometimes I have to say, Dr. Wagner Jr., I love to draw that mask, but sometimes it's like I really want to do something for him someday, and it's kind of how do you say sufrimiento, suffering. Like, dude, please watch my mask and use it, and please, but but I like to work with Hitmask, no matter he don't know me.
I think both of those are very much favorites of mine to draw as well. Especially Destroyer. I think the minimalism of his mask and just how classic it is. But I was just talking to another wrestling artist friend about drawing Destroyer. Actually, my guest
Hmm.
my last guest that I had on, Jonathan McBurney, and we were saying about how
Okay.
Destroyer's face is so interesting because of his nose. They're really like a big kind of like weird shaped bulbous kind of like nose and the eyes, and man, he's such a great face, I think.
Yeah, it's the lucha libre face when somebody tells you I'm a wrestler. It's like, okay, you're having that kind of face.
Like when you see the face of some of the Villanos or
Yeah,
Perro
the
Aguayo.
forehead.
Yeah, that is a wrestler look right there.
That's crazy. I love the foreheads.
It's just like a freak show. I love it.
Yeah.
Oh man, I am so grateful for your time. Thank you so much for taking the time to like talk today about Lucha Libre. And I'm so grateful as well, like for everyone at home. We were originally going to do this with a friend of yours translating, but you fucking killed it, man. You don't need a translator. You're great.
I need to practice more and I need to learn more vocabulary. So I'm gonna do it because right now, like, I want to hear all your podcasts and know everything about what's happening in that part of the planet. So I'm gonna do it. Thank you, man.
No problem, man. And yeah, I definitely look forward to hopefully getting to catch up with you in Mexico and have a beer. And I'm sure we will be able to have a good time and get to know one another a bit more.
Of course, man. You're gonna back to your home with a lot of stickers and prints and everything that I got, man. That's gonna be yours.
I'll bring you a little surprise as well, I think. This will be
Thank
good.
you, man. Thank you.
All right, thanks again, man. And can I ask, do you have anything that you would like to give a shout out to on the podcast? I mean, I recommend everyone fucking go out of your way and make sure to be following Erik on Instagram, erik.jam on Instagram. So good. Is there anywhere else that people can find your stuff?
No, that's it. That's my only account. And if you guys want to know more about Lucha Libre, go and follow Desde la Tercera Cuerda. That's my friend Luis Hernández account. And Portaveritas, he is a friend of mine. He's a comic book artist. And El Estruendo, that's a luchador who painting with sprays on street, and it's incredible, man.
Oh, I love it. I've seen a little bit of this, but it's so cool. But yeah, I'll include the links in the show as well, so everyone can click on those links and check some of these out. But yeah, thanks again, man. Really cool chat.
Thanks for having me, man. I'm super happy to be here talking with you about Lucha Libre and sharing all these memories. It's amazing. Thank you, man.
Thank you. So good to connect. All right, I'd love to have you on in the future. You have a good night, man.
You too, man.
All right, man. That was a fucking delight. Yeah, I don't know if you noticed, but I had a blast talking to Erik there. I mean, there's something to be said as a bloody gringo Australian, art dude who loves Mexican wrestling. It was a real treat to get to talk to Erik about it. And yeah, bond over this passion that we have and all of the magical things that are wrestling art. But yeah, that was a real treat. I hope, like I said, everyone make sure you check out Erik's stuff. Super talented artist, and his stuff gets me excited to make art. So I hope it can do the same for you guys. All right. I'll also, let's thank Social Suplex. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to do this very niche podcast. Wrestling art with Chris things. Socialsuplex.com. You can also check out a variety of other rad wrestling podcasts on there, from One Nation Radio to Keeping It Strong Style, to Imp's WWE Adventure, All Things Elite, Tunnel Talk, the Trish and Sarah podcast. There's an AEW match recommendation show. There's all sorts of stuff. But I very much appreciate the team at Social Suplex. Big thanks again to Erik. If you like my own wrestling art, or you want to support the things, you definitely can jump on christhings.com.au, and you can find a variety of art prints, of match of the week stuff, of lucha libre stuff, of all sorts of stuff, original artworks. We got T-shirts. We got a bunch of things. You can take a bit of a gander on there. Perhaps pick yourself up something. Perhaps buy something as a gift. I don't know if you have any other wrestling art fans in your life that might be a special thing for. But either way, just you guys listening to this show makes me happy. I appreciate that. If there is anyone out there you think might dig it, please give the show a recommendation. Spread the good word. I'm having a lot of fun here, and I really enjoy these ones where I get to talk to other wrestling artists. We can have a lot of differences, but then there's a lot of similarities too. So it's just a very nice deal. I think that brings us to the end of today's show. I will let everyone know. So I am actually going to be in Vietnam for the next 2 weeks, going on a little holiday with my dad, which I'm very excited about. And so the show will have a little bit of a hiatus when I'm over there. So we'll, I guess, miss the next. Let's have a 2-week holiday for the show, and then I'll be back. I'll be back with more wrestling art goodness upon my return. Maybe I'll have some interesting stories for you guys. I don't know. We'll see how we go. That was a bloody good one. Bloody good one, I reckon. All right. I'll see you guys when I get back from this vacation. All right. Keep up with your projects. I hope you guys are creating, if you do like the art. And as always, please feel free to send me anything that you make, because I want to be able to give that back to you guys too. Anyway, all right. Thanks a bunch, and I'll see you later. Bye.
Do the hammerlock. I do the hammerlock. Do the hammerlock, you turkey necks. Yeah, do the hammerlock. I do the hammerlock. Everybody's doing it. Do the eye gouge. Yeah, do the eye gouge. Do the eye gouge, you turkey necks. Yeah, do the eye gouge. I do the eye gouge. Everybody's doing it. Okay, you turkey nuts. Gather around.
All right. Thanks, man. Honestly, so much fun.
Oh man, I'm so happy, man. I'm so excited. Believe me.
And I meant it. You did great. Like, I wish my Spanish was as good as your English. Fuck.
Well, I have to practice, and you have to practice.
Yes.